like now that I'm writing for people, and I'm trying to, get better and get bigger as a writer, chasing placement sucks, man. Like you're basically trying to chase people around, trying to send people records, trying to get in the rooms, and just for you to not get paid, basically, essentially. So yeah, the business aspect sucks. So that's why I always tell people, yo, do this because you fucking love it. Because if you don't love it, you're gonna be a miserable fuck if you're trying to do this for money.
We are back.
It's the gang.
Had a little mix up. This Side of Jersey podcast, y'all. The #1 podcast in the world.
Self-appointed.
Self-appointed. You know the vibes. I am one of your hosts. My name is Steven. I go by Ugly Steven on Instagram.
It's your boy I Robinson03 _ all platforms.
I'm saying it's your boy Beej. You can catch me on everything.
Yes, sir. And we got Korean Tay _ behind the camera. Man, we got an episode. We got an episode for y'all, man. We are very excited to get into this episode. But as we know, we start every episode off with a little warm-up. So for those who do not know, we open with layup lines. Layup lines is a segment where we ask our guests some questions just to get them loose, just to get them, you know what I'm saying, get the juices flowing. You feel me?
This guy's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
This guy's
so
good.
you said you wasn't gonna look at the questions, bro.
I didn't look at the questions.
All right, you got a glance.
Yeah.
All right,
This guy's good.
can we get 24 on the shot clock?
Damn.
Good, we good.
That's
Let's
what you
go.
want to shot clock?
Let's get it.
I didn't
All right.
see the questions, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I saw one name and I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that's
you know
very
it's coming.
specific.
Yeah,
Fuck.
you know it's coming.
That scares me.
It's coming.
Damn, I gotta stop tweeting. Go
You
ahead.
ready?
Here we go.
All right, here it is.
24 on the shot.
Lyrics or melodies?
Melodies.
Songwriting or performing?
Songwriting.
PJ Morton or The Dream?
The Dream.
PJ Morton or Neo?
PJ Morton.
Piano or violin?
Piano.
Singing or harmonizing?
Singing.
Singing or rapping?
Singing.
D'Angelo or Music Soul Child?
D'Angelo.
Mental health or physical health?
Both.
A break from social media or a break from malnutritious foods?
Malnutritious foods.
Very well done, sir.
let's go.
Very well done.
Hey, let's go.
Very nice.
I like that. That was
All right, man. So obviously we know this guy is sharp. You know what I mean? To get into a few titles, man, for this special guest we have. He is an educator.
Facts.
He is a black educator. Let's
Facts.
specify that. He is a musician.
That is facts.
He is a songwriter.
More facts.
He is a historian.
Triple facts.
He is a student of life.
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, G. Samuels is here in the building.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bro,
Yeah.
I want to say something I truly admire about you.
Thanks, bro.
You are extremely punctual.
Oh yeah. Anal. Borderline.
Yeah.
anal.
Yeah. Why is that?
Christine Bass, my high school music teacher.
Okay.
She planted some seeds in me, some amazing seeds in me. But to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is to be laughed at. And to be late is to be left. And to be left is to be laughed at. Sorry. So, yeah, she had this thing where if you weren't on time, she was leaving you. She did not give a flying fuck. She was leaving you. She's left people in other countries for not being on time. So, yeah. I'd rather be the first person.
I admire that about you.
Thank you, bro.
For those who don't know, obviously behind the scenes, G was here very early.
Yeah.
Very early.
Had enough time to settle himself,
Yeah.
eat breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
have fun, laugh, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, definitely.
Even help us set up to an extent because we still weren't all the way there. And I live here. And I was late. Nah, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
Yeah.
We got an amazing episode ahead of us. So let's start with at the beginning, right? We all have a personal relationship with you, but for those who do not, where does the story of G. Samuels begin? Where are you from?
The story of G. Samuels begins at Cooper Hospital, October 14th, 1992. I was born at 2 pounds, 5 ounces. I was not supposed to be here, so I was premature, yeah. So
I don't know much, but that's extremely light. Correct?
Yeah, okay. That's not good at all. Yeah. So I'm not supposed to be here. So ever since then, every day is a blessing.
Scientifically, you're not supposed
Scientifically,
to be here.
I'm not supposed to be here.
God speaking.
Yeah.
You're very much supposed to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was born like 7 months, something like that, around there. 7 months, yeah. I was born really early. My mom was bedridden for like 8 weeks. So, everything after that's a blessing. So, yeah.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cherry Hill. Westside Cherry Hill. Yeah, my crew, we like 10 deep.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey, man. Shout out Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful place. I grew up on the west side of Cherry Hill, Merchantville. I'd say when people say I'm from Merchantville, you know what I'm saying?
Is that what Merchantville is? Is that West Cherry Hill? Is that science?
Yeah, nah, that's the west side of Cherry Hill. Merchantville is right next to Cherry Hill. But you know how like those streets are. Like, bro, I go 3 blocks over, it's Pensauken.
Yep.
It's Merchantville, 3 blocks over. I go 3 blocks to the right, it's Pensauken. Like, this shit's crazy. It's
That's that
crazy.
shit T
So-
talking about.
Yeah.
So describe to us the demographic of where you grew up.
So the demographic of where I grew up is completely different than what it is now. So when I grew up, my neighborhood was all black. So my 3 streets were all black, and it's like that for a reason. Like it's like 3 to 5 streets are all black. A lot of people don't know this, but Cherry Hill used to be segregated. So where the high school is, Cherry Hill West, black people weren't allowed up there. So where my town is, like a lot of black people settled there, and they were stuck there. So that's why, like, my couple streets growing up, it was like all black families because that's where they had to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I grew up very much in a neighborhood that didn't represent school because school was very white, but home was very black. And you know, blue collar black people, they don't got money, but they got enough to where, you know, they can live in, not have to live in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, super blue collar. And then yeah, my mom moved up in the world, but I still live in the same place. Yeah.
Can you talk about how that affected you being a black kid with at home surrounded by black, you know what I mean, black culture, black people, but going to school and it not being the same exact thing? Like, I'm sure that was like,
it was weird. It was weird only because, like, I went to school on the east side of Cherry Hill, so that's a completely different.
the Cherry Hill
dynamic.
East?
No, I didn't. I went to Rosa for middle school.
Oh,
I
okay.
went to Rosa.
Facts.
But because I went to Rosa, I did want to go to Cherry Hill East. So that demographic is weird. So, like, for example, like, I would go to school, I'd be the only black person in class. But I come home and everything's black. So culturally black, you know what I'm saying? Food wise, you know, everything is black. My whole neighborhood's black. But when I go to school, it's just like, who am I? Where do I fit? Where do I belong? And so I think I definitely questioned what I was supposed to be, who I was supposed to be. And then when I got to high school, I just started gravitating towards a lot of black shit. So, yeah. But I think that it was trying to find a balance of, okay, where do I fit in school and where do I fit in at home? Because I'm not white, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very much so black, and I can't ignore that either. So it definitely was just trying to a weird time of trying to figure out, okay, who am I? What does it look like to be a black kid from this area?
Okay. So I kind of want to paint the picture, right? Because that always helps.
Yeah,
you know, set the stage for the rest of the conversation. You know, to get to know you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you were a member of Deaf Bananas.
Yes. Still own the name.
Explain what that is. Explain what the mission was there.
Gotcha.
Go in a little bit of detail about that.
Okay, so Deaf Bananas. Deaf Bananas was a alternative rap trio from Cherry Hill.
Shout out Deaf Bananas, though, man. Y'all did some amazing work.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Consisting of Angelo Valentino Lugo, Cameron Marshall Cooper, and G. William Samuels.
Indeed.
Me and Ange handled the rapping. Cam handled a lot of, you know, songwriting stuff, a lot of the singing on the hooks and things like that, and the production. He was the heartbeat of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Cam Day.
Shout out to Cam.
Facts.
So, yeah, Deaf Bananas was a group of 3 young gentlemen who came together around the age of, I'd say I met Cam when I was 14. Cam and Ange had known each other previously. And so I was into music at the time. But when I met Cam, we just clicked, and I got deeper into music. So they knew each other before. Cam introduced us, of course, and just naturally we just built a friendship. And so around 2010, one of my mentors in my church asked us to write a song and perform a song. I never made a song before. So not seriously. So we made this song called So Holy. And if anybody ever finds it, God bless you. But we made this song called So Holy, which is like a gospel kind of rap thing. But it was like Cam and Ange were doing stuff together, and me and Cam are doing stuff together. But it's like, why don't we just be one entity? So at one time, Deaf Bananas was like a collective. and it was just like all of our friends would just hop on songs randomly and do stuff like that. But then we became a group, and then when we became a group, it was like my project graduation. So peep this, right? We had a mixtape, bro, that we put out called "Tastes Like Citrus."
Yes, sir.
The project graduation, 2011. The shit was crazy. So if you can ever find "Tastes Like Citrus" anywhere, you'll notice that me, G. William Samuels, is the cover, and I have a banana up to my ear, and I'm looking at an orange. Why? I'll tell you, and I made it on like Picnic or something like that. But I did it because we were so unorganized and so last minute, just like a bunch of 17-year-old, 18-year-olds trying to figure shit out for themselves. And Cam was supposed to do the artwork, and he had mad shit to do for the project, so he didn't do the artwork. And so I just pulled the audible. So our first project had me on it, just talking in a banana to a fucking orange. Like,
Listen,
yeah.
that was on brand though, bro.
Yeah, it
that
was
was
very
on
on
brand
brand.
to Def Bananas, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, bro. I used to know Def Banana songs the way I know like Sue Surf songs, bro. Like, you feel me, bro? Like, Def Bananas was a moment, bro.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song to shout out? Oh, I'm sorry, Bees.
Oh no, go ahead, bro.
I'm just curious. So, what was your favorite Def Bananas?
Yeah, my favorite Def Banana song
Thing.
is the last Def Banana song that's out. Turn the Lights Down. Turn the
Okay.
Lights Down.
Wow. Okay.
Because I felt like that was just peak. Everybody being at their best at that time. Like especially at that time, I felt like I was never the best rapper. Cam, in my opinion, of course, he's a way better singer than I am. He produces, so I think his talents are. At that time, I thought like, yo, his talents are next level. Like same thing with Ange. I was like, yo, Ange raps circles around me, and so that's one of the reasons why I've worked so hard at getting better at rapping, because I never wanted to feel like these guys are better than me. So they pushed me to be the best rapper I could be at that time, because I was like, they were crushing me, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Like I got an ego too.
That's tough.
Yeah, but yeah, Turn the Lights Down is definitely my favorite Def Bananas track. There's some unreleased shit somewhere, but yeah,
I like Truth or Dare.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. Like, you know why?
All of them.
You know
All
why?
of them.
Because I was like, yo, we're gonna talk about Def Bananas, and I was like, Steve is gonna bring up Truth or Dare because I know how much you like that. Like,
I love those songs, bro.
and then there's two Truth or Dares, and I think my favorite one is the one that's like, what if God and the devil made a bet?
To see
Well, I would lose first, my mind or my faith. And before losing my mind, I lost all my faith, put that 9 to my head, and I blew off my face. Now, truthfully, that's a reality check. I can make millions if I could cash in reality checks. Yeah, man. That was a good time, bro.
Man.
Yeah. I don't rap no more, though.
I noticed that.
I don't. Yeah.
Which I have opinions about, by the way.
Okay, yeah, we can get that. That's
Bees,
cool.
go ahead, Bees. I'm sorry.
No, you good. No, I was gonna say, like, I remember when I was in the army, it was probably around like 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
I forget what tape that y'all dropped or whatever, but I remember I was talking to Big Lugo or whatever, and I think he sent me like the link to the album or like the tape that y'all dropped, and no
Yeah.
bullshit, I was like, yeah, y'all boys is gonna make it. Bro.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think that's when I think either you or Cam has a song on there, and damn, I'm really trying to remember like the lyrics or whatever. But yeah, if I see like the cover or like
Yeah.
the tape or whatever, yeah, I know that joint for sure. But I just remember around that time, like I was like, yeah, y'all boys is about to make it. And I actually think y'all was out in LA around that time too.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's 2014.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, like, to kind of backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
When you was a child,
Mhm.
what were the actual songs or the genres that actually got you into music and
Oh.
everything else?
Oh, I'm glad. That's a great question, bro. So I'm glad you asked that. So I got to tell the full story. So my uncle has schizophrenia, and so he was institutionalized for a while. And when I was around 10, he came to live with us full time, but he would come home on the weekends. So like when he would come home on the weekends, bro, like he would play so many different musics. I mean, we'd go from R. Kelly to James Taylor. And I remember he would always play this song by James Taylor that I hated, bro. And it was just like, in my mind, I'm going to Carolina. And that shit drove me nuts. I'm like, this song is trash. But then I got to a point where I was like, yo, I like this song a lot. So definitely like my earliest influence were, church. My uncle's definitely probably my biggest musical influence because he just played everything. And it was like Unc is playing DMX, he's playing James Taylor, he's playing you name it, he played it growing up. And so he was so impressionable on me music wise that it was him. It was just like everything he played, I just soaked up like a sponge. And I think that's why today I know so many songs because he just never stopped playing music. And it was just like on repeat, bro. He would play the same things on repeat. Then he would switch the album, play another thing on repeat. I remember 2004, 5th grade. Remember when CDs, this is a throwback. Remember when CDs used to come in a catalog? You could order through the catalog, the CDs? Do y'all remember that? I don't. Okay, so yeah, CDs, you could buy CDs. And you see when they came out, and you could buy them through the catalog and they would send you stuff. So he bought a bunch of CDs and they sent them duplicates. So he gave me, and this would blew my mind, changed my life. He gave me Speaker Box and Love Below, and he gave me Missy Elliott's Under Construction album.
The fact that he gave you Speaker Box and Love Below is like,
blew my mind.
That's a great place to.
I would play that on my, but also he gave me my first CD, right? He gave me He's the DJ and I'm the Rapper as my first CD back in like 99. Because that was the only thing that was clean. My mom was like, yeah, if you listen to music, it's got to be clean. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me that CD. Yeah. So he was like huge influence on me musically. Like growing up, just wanting to learn. Like I was just obsessed. Like anything he would play, I'm like, damn, this is so good. And I would learn it. And I would walk around the house singing it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely, I would say my biggest musical influence as a kid was my uncle.
So while we're on the conversation of like how you got your palette, right? Yeah. Something that we noticed about you is that you have a different approach on music, right? It's different from the average palette, right? I feel like it's genuinely an appreciation, like in a respect that you have, like in your studious of it. You feel what I'm saying? Can you tell us or talk to us about some of the layers of your music that you tend to enjoy or that you tend to listen for when you're listening to music?
So, because I'm a writer, I usually look for a feeling, right? This song that I'm hearing right now gives me a feeling. And however it makes me feel, I want to then create that feeling for myself. So I go and I listen to something and I'll listen to it over and over again and I'll obsess over it. And I'll be like, okay, well, what about this makes me feel this way? What about this makes me happy? What about this makes me sad? And then I will try my best to recreate that feeling for myself. And I know when I've recreated that feeling because I'll play whatever I'm working on over and over again. And I'm like, okay, like I got it. This is what's supposed to be here. So yeah, I usually go to trying to recreate a feeling that I hear in music. So sonically, emotions, sound-wise, I try to recreate that feeling. Whatever feeling that song has, I try to recreate it for myself.
So explain a little bit more about your creative process. What does it look like when you're in your zone? Mm-hmm. What's allowed, what's not allowed?
Okay. So my creative process now is way different than when I first started. Like a lot of the times, in the early like Def Bananas days, like Cam was quarterbacking a lot of stuff because he was producing everything. Okay. And so during the pandemic, I got some studio equipment. I got a laptop, I got a microphone, I got an interface, and I got some studio monitors. And I started learning how to record myself and mixing and mastering some engineering things. So like my process right now is I usually find a loop on Splice. I will load the loop into Logic. I'll sit in front of it and I'll just mumble. I'll mumble melodies and then I'll go back in and stuff in some of the lyrics. But for the most part right now, by myself, my creative process is me in my bedroom in front of my laptop, just rocking out. And then I'll play songs in between that to kind of get a different, like, okay, I want something that feels like this. So I'll play a song that gives me a certain feeling, and then I'll go in and back to writing that. But then, like, my creative process with other people is, like, because I'm a writer, it's, okay, well, what does this person want, right? What does this person need as an artist? And sometimes it's just like, somebody wants a City Girls record. So I will go listen to JT. I'll go stare at her on Instagram for a little bit. Get a little excited, a little overstimulated, and then I'll just try to write a record like a city girl. Channel my inner bad bitch.
I was just typing and just heard that. I was like,
Yeah, channel my inner Batman.
I heard you.
nah, that's real. That's real. Listen, man, before we started rolling, we actually talked about you don't like to ask for things.
Yeah. I struggle with that.
We particularly were talking like, I think in that aspect we were talking about the industry, but like I feel like that's not, to you, that's not just an industry thing. That might be just like something that's part of your being.
Cool
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't like to ask for things.
Yeah, I struggle with asking for help. It used to be really bad as a kid. I would wait until I'd shut down to ask for help. But I think it has to do with like the fact that I'm an only child. So it's a little bit of entitlement there, but also it's a little bit of just me having a lot of pride and not wanting to be looked at as weak or looked at as inferior. That's definitely something that I've struggled hard with. I don't like asking for help. But at this phase in my life, in my Saturn's return at the age of 29, I definitely ask for help way more now than ever. Yeah. But I still struggle with it sometimes.
I wanted to ask that because it's one of those things where like I don't know how to feel about it, because it's like I totally understand the method, like I totally understand, but then it's like at some point you should leverage your network. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what it's there for, right? So like, I just want to get your thoughts on that, bro, because it's such a conflicting. In theory, I totally understand it. Yeah. My mom just asked me the other day. She was like, basically asking me when I'm going to have a kid, and I was like, when I can afford one happily. And then she was like, I made a joke about when I get a couple more dollars or something like that. And then she was like, I have a couple dollars. And I was like, no, like I'm not, no,
Yeah,
like, you feel me? Like,
no.
I'm not doing that. You feel me? Like,
she ready to be a abuelita.
She is, and in spirit, that's totally fine. Like a grandmom who wants to, you know what I'm saying? That's totally fine.
But
it's also fine that I don't want to, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Start my family on your dime. You feel me? Like,
yeah, bro, you better have a big bag. You feel me? Because kids is not.
B's your
Papa
dad.
B's.
B's is total. Bro. He can chime in on this. Like, it's just, you feel me?
Yeah, bro, Steve, you said the right thing, bro. Because, like, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion of just what, like, I see out there. It's just a lot of people that aren't conscious of, like, realistic life out there. And people just want to have children subconsciously because either they're love deprived or they just want to just have attention to just take pictures on social media and shit. Because it's like, bro, diapers alone is like, what? Well, good diapers and shit, bro, for like only like what, like 40 or 50, bro. Them shit is like $60. You feel me? And babies gonna go through about 3 diapers a day type shit.
That is so
then you got Similac and formula. That shit's like $50. You feel me? And Similac is only but like that big. You know what I'm saying? Babies is gonna drink that every day. But yeah, bro. You have to have a bag if you really want to have.
Yeah, bro.
And time too.
Exactly. Like mentally, I think I'm ready for a kid. Like I'm definitely like excited about having that.
Facts.
But I'm gonna make sure my brand is right. I don't want my kid to suffer for some shit that I didn't. That, you feel what I'm saying? That I didn't do. You feel me? Like
definitely.
Yeah, bro.
I want to make sure you good first.
And that's being already a good parent, bro. That's already being a good parent.
Thank you, bro. And shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for being a great
Papa
parent, bro.
Bees.
We don't.
Papa Bees.
We actually, I think we talked about segmenting something for you to talk about, just like fatherhood, actually.
Yeah.
Particularly Black fatherhood.
Yeah, I got you. I'll tell you the truth.
High key. Yeah. We should actually let's talk about that actually off air. Yeah, let's actually hold on to that.
What was your question?
I just wanted you to talk about you don't like.
Oh, you said something about like your network. So.
Oh yeah, like you at some point you are leveraging your
your network. So that's something I started to learn how to do during the pandemic, is leveraging my network. So as I started writing, I met this dope. My homegirl Monty, she's a dope writer, really good engineer as well. We met through Clubhouse. And so I met a lot of people through Clubhouse. My relationship with her is probably the best one that I've had. But yeah, so I realized that, asking people for help, like, can you mix this for me? Or just create as much as you can, and your network will find you. I'll give you an example. Like, Chris Tack was trying to learn how to record. So he used me as his test dummy to learn how to record. Told him different things that I like, kind of on the fly, right? He talked to John. Shout out to John Wickfall, amazing manager, amazing PR guy.
Shout out John.
Shout out to John. Him and John had a conversation about songwriting, me and songwriting, and John was like, "Yo, send some references through," and I sent him some references for one of his artists, and she was like, "Yo, I fuck with this. I want to re-record this." Right? So I didn't ever ask for anything. All I did was show up for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept showing up for myself. And that's a song I wrote during the pandemic when I first started learning how to record myself. People on Clubhouse would send me beats. I would write to their beats. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because now I'm just doing work. I'm recording. I'm learning how to record. I'm learning how to engineer. I'm just doing work, and my network is kind of finding me, which is the blessing in that.
I want to commend you on that, bro, because and we'll get to this later in the interview a little more deeply, but something about you, bro, is you are always willing, it seems, to put your head down and work. Yeah. It just always seems that way. Like, and you're also you're not always loud about it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you're not like one of those people who like you might tweet like that you're thinking about doing it or something like that, but like you're not like tweeting your every thought and like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very like, you can just tell that you do the self work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's something that's super, and we'll get a little bit more into that later, but because I know you want to ask something. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, nah, bro, you good. So I just wanted to ask. So as somebody who is a part of the music industry, and that usually participates in a lot of the elements that make up the music industry, I just wanted to ask, like, what were some of the things that you liked about it, what you don't like about it, and some lessons that you could take away or give to other people that's looking to be inside the music industry?
Yeah. So I'm in an interesting position because I'm in the music industry, but I'm also on the outside of the music industry. So I make money through. At this point in time, I make money for writing songs for people, but I also like make money in radio, TV, and film. That aspect, like getting songs placed in video games. Shout outs to that Def Bananas Records that was in Riders Republic. That was my first big placement, but I also have some other things coming up too. But so yeah, essentially like my first I would say my first foray into the music industry was when I went to LA in 2014 with Def Bananas. We signed with an independent label. We shot an amazing music video. We got to live the life of rappers for a couple weeks, for like 2 weeks in LA, because we went 2 separate times. And yeah, I realized that it's a lot of work. If you're going to be in this industry, it's a lot of fucking work, a lot of thankless work, and it's hard. Like, you have to dedicate a lot of time and energy to it. And this is just me experiencing that at the time in a small scale. Because I got to be a rapper. I got to be an artist for, I guess, 2 weeks out of my life. I just got to be an artist. Drunk all the fucking time, just creating. You know what I'm saying? And for me at that time, that's everything.
It's lit.
Yeah, it's lit. But however, contracts come into it, right? So you get the contract from the label and you're 25 grand in the hole. And it's just like, damn, well, nobody told you to spend fucking 25 grand or 30 grand, you know what I'm saying? And we got to recoup this and we got to give it back to you. And just on a small scale, it's like, it's kind of like college, bro. You take on that debt, motherfucker, you got to pay it back. And so for us at the time, it was just like, wow, like this is scary. Like, well, for me at least, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but for me, it was like, wow, like I didn't ask for this. I'm signing this, and now I have to figure out how the hell I'm going to pay this person back. Because in our contract, it says, okay, it's split this way until we recoup X, Y, Z. And I mean, thank God the guy that we worked with, shouts to RJ, he's an amazing guy, and he restructured our contract for us. And, you know, we did what we did. And now, craziest thing is now we're making money off the thing that we did back in 2012 to 2014.
Wow.
So that's like the coolest part, full circle part.
That's
is like,
beautiful.
That is fine.
It's somewhat paid itself off. That experience paid itself off because I definitely feel like I was a little jaded. And it wasn't anything that anyone in particular did to me, but I felt like it was like, damn, I got to move on somebody else's time. Like, yo, we're ready to fucking rock. We're ready to roll. Like, we're young. We're crazy. We're all egotistical as fuck. Like, we're ready to go. Like, let's fucking go. Let's rock. Let's throw this out. But it doesn't work like that. But also, too, like, there's another aspect that I experience now is writing. Like, now that I'm writing for people and I'm trying to, you know, get better and get bigger as a writer, chasing placement sucks, man. Like, you're basically trying to chase people around, trying to send people records, trying to get into rooms, and just for you to not get paid, basically, essentially. So yeah, the business aspect sucks. So that's why I always tell people, like, yo, do this because you fucking love it. Because if you don't love it, you're gonna be a miserable fuck if you're trying to do this for money. Super miserable. Yeah.
I didn't know about the contract thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's
yeah,
like,
bro, that's so deep.
yeah. So that in fact is the end of Def Bananas. Like after that, we all we had our our little falling out with each other, and then we pieced things up, and then life kept going, and then we went our separate ways and did our own things.
Sure.
That's crazy, bro. Because around that time, I remember nobody was making music like that besides the bull Kyle
Yeah.
and the bull. Who's the dude? He used to sing. He got that song with Tiger, put the lime in the coconut, mix it all up. Like, what's that bull name?
Oh, you talking about Travi from like Gym Class Heroes?
Yeah.
Wow,
Travi
what
from
a
Gym Class
reference,
Heroes,
Bees.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Who the hell be
Because I
talking
used to
about?
say this to Big Lugo all the time. I was like, bro, I never understood what happened because it's like, bro, y'all were literally y'all three were the only people that was making music like that around
different.
that time. So I was like, bro, it's inevitable for them to like just go off. Like it's nobody is creating like them. And then when y'all stopped after that tape, I was just like, bro, what the fuck? But now I kind of understand now. So it was the industry that fucked it up. Yeah.
It was a business. It was like we were waiting for this thing that we did in LA to come out, and we were kind of sitting on our hands. So we had dropped like a few songs, but we didn't drop anything in full. But that definitely slowed down our creative process because we were like, okay, let's go. Like this is gonna pop any minute. Like we had like clothes from all these different clothing companies, bro. Like Adidas overnighted us some fucking sneakers that have never came out. Like it was just like crazy dope stuff was happening, and we're like, yo, we're about to be Weezy out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gone. And when I say we're gone, I didn't think any of us thought we were gonna make life-changing money off of this one situation. But I definitely thought, at least for me, like I said, I only want to speak for myself. I definitely thought it would catapult into other opportunities. But like when you have other people involved and it's business involved, like this is music business. It's a business first. So yeah, I definitely think that. And also you have three people who are very egotistical. You know what I'm saying? I think that if you know us, you know we all have, I feel like, larger than life personalities.
Indeed.
Like Cam is who he is, Ange is who he is, I am who I am. And it's like you got to get three people on one accord who have very different tastes but similar tastes. So it's like to constantly get three people on the same page about shit is super difficult. And not that, and I think that, when you take steps back, you can always kind of see. I think that we started when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we started when we were kids, and by the time you start something at 16, 17, by the time you're 21, 22, 23, 24, bro, you don't want the same shit out of life anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so as our palates change, it's hard to keep people together because we're all headed in a separate direction. And so I think that time in my life is some of the best years of my life, bro. We had so much fun, bro. Shows we were doing, like shows every weekend. We were slowly building something up. And I feel like it's just something that I feel like can never be taken from me. And it's something that I'm always going to look back on and be like, yo, I had so much fun. Like when I have kids, I'm going to be like, yo, me, your uncles, wild boys. Like we were wilding the fuck out. We had so much fun, man. Like I said, some of the funniest years of my life. Young, stupid, dumb, and drunk all the fucking time, bro. We were some degenerate drinkers, though. I mean, that shit was elite, next level. Like, yeah.
So you've collabed with some pretty big artists, obviously. Well known in the side of Jersey, Southern Jersey. Cam, Frankie, Don B. Just talk a little bit about what you like about each artist.
So I would say with Cam, start with Cam first. Like I've known Cam since I was 14. So he's my best friend in the entire world. Like, so we know each other very well. So we feed off of each other really well. But now that I'm a writer, our creative process is a lot different now. I think it's even better. So with Cam, he knows what I want. He knows what what something should feel like and sound like when I bring it to him, and he will do whatever he can to make sure that it sees itself through. Even now, like I will be like, yo, bro, I need melodies. He'll send me some melodies. Or I'll be like, yo, bro, can you recreate this for me? Like, I got the melodies, I got the lyrics. I just need some production. Like, he knows as soon as I send him an idea, he knows exactly what I need. And he'll make sure that he recreates that.
That's fire.
With Frankie, I hate calling him Frankie. Buddha.
Yeah, bro, I'm so conflicted with that, bro. It's like, bro, you're Buddha, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if I see you at the Grammys. You're Buddha, bro. Like, you feel
We
me?
know him as Buddha. Everybody else kind of know him as Frankie.
Yeah.
though.
And he gonna hate me for saying this, but
I be feeling weird as hell calling him Frankie.
Yeah, bro.
I be like, boy.
he gonna hate me for saying this.
Yeah.
But I call him Buddha butt. Call him Buddha
That's a
butt
lot.
butt, yeah.
That's a lot. I don't think you should.
He hates when I do that, but I call him Buddha. But yeah, with Buddha, like he's so easy to work with because it's like, yo, bro, I need you to do this for me. I got you. Just send it through. I got you. But even better yet, like he's a great person to talk to. Like, he's easy to get along with. He's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So funny.
we talk shit. Like, we talk a lot of shit to each other like, when we're around each other in our spare time. And so, with him, he's just easy to work with. Like, yo, bro, I need this. Can you do this for me? Bet, got you. He pulls up, he gets it done. And Dom is a patron saint. Dom is probably outside of, it's Dom and Cam, of course, are my favorite people to work with. But Dom is like A1 because she's just fucking plug and play. Yo, Dom, I got this idea. Or Dom will be like, G, can you write something for me? And I'll be like, yes, no hesitation. Like, whatever she needs, I'm going to war for her because that's how fucking much I believe in her as a person and her as a creative. Like, if Brandy is the vocal Bible, Dom is the vocal Quran.
Wow.
Shout
Yeah.
out Don B. Weird.
So
What
shout
a
out
reference.
Shout outs to Dom.
I apologize, yo. Is my dog coming through the headphones? Typically, no, right, Tay? You know hers already through the headphones, typically. Yeah, I don't think she is. You can hear her, but she's not coming through the.
Nah, I don't think so.
I have a really spoiled dog. I got her during quarantine, so she's just spoiled.
Yeah,
And
quarantine baby.
yeah, she's in the cage right now because she has anxiety when she's not with us, and like she will tear the house up. So she's just like whining really loud. I just want to make sure it's not coming through. That's all. But for mental health, I want to talk about that with you. Like I said, we kind of were talking earlier about how you work on yourself a lot. Like you take that serious, that self work you take seriously. Mental health is something that you've been pretty passionate about, transparent about. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Can you summarize as lightly as you can try as lightly as you like, but if you could summarize or give us a version of why you're so passionate about it, like what got you there?
Okay. So yeah, what got me here around like I think 2013 or 14, I had went through something traumatic, and it was stressing me out. I lost a lot of weight behind it, and then also shortly after that, I had smoked weed. It was laced, and it put me in a hospital. So
Wow.
yeah, after that, I started having panic attacks, and I would be thinking I'm having a heart attack. So I would be just chilling, and then next thing you know, my heart rate is sky high, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to check out. So that was like the beginning of my anxiety and having anxiety issues. And it was like also at this time, like I started drinking a lot more to kind of just be able to go to the mall. Like I had to drink to go to the mall at this time. Just because being around a bunch of people would start freaking me the fuck out. I'd be like, holy shit, for no reason, like just no reason at all. I would just be freaking the fuck out. So I started drinking a lot to kind of, deal with that. And so, yeah, like I started having a bunch of anxiety issues and panic attacks. And then as a result of that, I started some obsessive thinking and ruminating. And it was just like, oh, I'm fucking spiraling. So that was like the beginning of me dealing with anxiety and depression and just figuring out, okay, how the fuck do I deal with this? Like, because this shit's not, it didn't feel like this shit's going away. You know what I'm saying? So how do I deal with this? And I think around 18, 19, my mom made me start going to a therapist. And then like within those subsequent years, those few things like the depression, anxiety, the traumatic thing I went through, like those things kind of happened, boom, boom, boom. And then, so I spent the next, I guess, few years trying to figure out how the fuck do I deal with this shit. So yeah, you saying, so how do I deal with it? or
No, I just
oh,
want. I
that's
just
why
want to
I'm
kind of talk.
passionate.
Yeah, I just kind of want to talk
Yeah.
like because I know you're passionate about it. You're
Yeah.
really transparent about it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to talk about like what kind of got you there
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
even just begin that process. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like shout out first of all, shout out to your mom for
Yeah.
making that happen.
Yeah.
Shout out, mom.
Yeah,
Dukes.
doodles.
Yeah, indeed. But some people, it's like a weird like they don't. I was talking to Jared Ray about this. Shout out Jared Ray, and we were talking about how like I feel like it's so hard to address the problems that you have with yourself,
Yes.
but addressing them even to yourself.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's so easy to be in a room alone
Mm-hmm.
and not acknowledge the fact that maybe you're stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
And like have that thought, but then like fight with yourself and justify why you're stubborn, or like when there's no one else in the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's something that people don't they don't hold themselves accountable to that. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like just even looking in the mirror, even is like shout out to you for doing that. You feel what I'm saying? And then like now taking action to like, you know what I'm saying, just better yourself. You know what I mean? Like I just admire that, bro.
Yeah, thank you. It's hard to
actually
do.
admire that.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to
Yeah.
do. And I think it's so hard because it's easier to help somebody else, right? Because when you're helping somebody else, you know, you can kind of drop whatever you need on them and walk away. But you can't just drop whatever yourself needs and walk away. Like, you can't walk away from yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I'll deal with it.
You got to look in the mirror. And that's the hardest thing to do as a human, is look in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm not where I need to be. Or, yo, this triggers me. I know people joke, I'm triggered. You know what I'm saying? I say that shit all the time. I don't be triggered. You know what I'm saying? But figuring out what your triggers are. You know what I'm saying? What makes you tick? What fucks your ticker up? You know what I'm saying? Because once you do that, I think you'll realize that life isn't as difficult as we make it. It's very complex, but when you have things and systems in place to address yourself at any given time, I think that you'll realize that this shit could be a lot smoother than it actually is for most of us. Yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
Shout
I think that's work that just needs to be done. You feel me? It's just necessary work, bro. In this process, in this journey, is there anything about yourself that you learned that you think maybe you wouldn't have ever acknowledged or got better at had you not given your mental health special attention? And maybe like even outside of like maybe like the social anxieties, like even anything outside of that.
Yeah, I noticed, you said, what do I like, or what did, repeat that for
Is
me?
there anything that you've, like a discovery of yourself?
Oh, discovery.
Right, that like had you
Yes.
not been so like adamant about
Yeah.
giving your mental health attention, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have noticed.
What have I noticed about myself? I noticed that I'm obsessive. I don't know if I have OCD, but if I got a clinical diagnosis, I probably have OCD. I noticed that I'm very, very obsessive over things. That's why I'm so obsessive over music. But it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I'm balls deep on whatever it is. So like, if I like something, for example, if I eat something, I might eat that shit every day for weeks. Like, I get so fixated on things. Places I like, people. I think that's why I'm so slow to be in a relationship, because I obsess over. I've in the past have obsessed over things. So yeah, I noticed that I definitely obsess a lot over stuff. And so now I've noticed how to take a break and how to take steps back through therapy. I have amazing therapists, and so through therapy, I've learned, okay, like, yo, you got to take a step back. Now you got to step up for yourself. I noticed that I don't speak up for myself enough too.
Really?
Yes, I don't defend G enough. And so
Wow.
I've learned how to step up for myself. Like I said, a part of this phase, my Saturn's return right now, is like sticking up for myself, being accountable. Hey, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that you did X, Y, and Z, right? Have uncomfortable conversations with yourself, with other people. Hey, G, you were really selfish today. You know what I'm saying? You owe this person an apology. Whether or not they felt that way, you know yourself. You know what I'm saying? You were a fucking dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, bro? Like, I've been angry this past week, right? Bro, and me and my therapist talk about how sometimes things are in nature and we don't even notice it, right? And we're as above, so is below, right? So we're connected to things that are bigger than ourselves. And people shit on people for astrology all the time. However, I was angry as fuck all week. I wanted to pistol whip somebody, bro. I was ready to fuck shit up. Like, I was like, yo, somebody needs to be Will Smith. Like, I need to smack a motherfucker in order to feel good. But then I realized, okay, right now, like through talking to my therapist, she's like, well, Aries is in retrograde, right? So I'm a Libra. My sister's sign is Aries. So I have a little bit of that in me. And so just naturally, that may have attributed to why I've been angry this week. I ain't think about that shit, you know what I'm saying? But she brought that up, and I'm like, God damn, she might be right. Like, because I didn't think about that, and I didn't know that. So that's when I'm like, okay, you got to take a step back, love on yourself, you know, go get a massage, go talk to somebody, go do Steve's podcast. Like, I was looking forward to coming here this weekend. I was like, it's something to do, something to break
likewise,
up, you know,
bro.
the monotony.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I want to say something real quick, though. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
Fuck yeah, I know
Okay,
who Jordan
of course you
Peterson
know. Okay,
is.
cool.
Yeah.
It's one of his things that I felt when you said that you don't stick up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And he has, you probably heard it then if you know him. He has a theory of like, he says it's way better to be a dangerous person
A gardener
and
at
be
war.
able to dial it back. Right.
Yeah.
That philosophy.
I'd rather be a
right.
gardener at war than I'd rather be a warrior in the garden in the garden. I'd rather be a warrior in the garden than a gardener at war.
Exactly.
Yes.
In a war. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Be dangerous.
And I feel like something that I've learned, and I think I was surprised when you said that because I feel like you do have this ability. I from my standpoint, is like you have to be aggressively standing up for yourself and saying how you feel, and risk some of the collateral damage that'll happen at first because you're not good at knowing how to do it. So you just have to kind of like aggressively throw yourself over the cliff.
Yeah.
And then in time and in interactions and in just experience, you'll learn how to do it in a way that like maybe respects the other party as well. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like just like aggressively standing up for yourself, aggressively saying things, aggressively having uncomfortable conversations, like just 1, 2, 3, do it. And then like you learn in time how to like, you know what I mean? I can make it professional. I can make you laugh when I do it. But I'm still going to say how I feel. And like, I'm not, and you're going to be clear on how I feel. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like just making yourself clear. So like, yeah, bro. I'm surprised that you said that though.
Yeah, I like Jordan Peterson a lot. He definitely is somebody.
But I wanted to kind of piggyback off of something though. So like you kind of mentioned like some of the things you like to do, like getting massages or just going to a place that like you're just anticipated to go to.
Yeah.
But what are some like coping mechanisms that you can, I guess, give to other people that I guess maybe inside the similar situation, or just coping mechanisms to just clear your mind of anything or just current stress?
Yeah. So how I deal with life stresses, my insecurities, my mental health. One, go outside. Go outside and move around. Walk, run, throw some shit. Go outside. Go outside and move around. And movement is medicine. And, of course, I feel like when you're moving, like I think this is why people enjoy the car so much. Because when you're moving, it almost feels like your brain can slow down a little bit. And you can think about individual thoughts and not have to have your brain rushing while you're moving. So, yeah, move. Learn a martial art, man. Learn taekwondo, learn jiu-jitsu, drink a lot of water, exercise, kettlebells. I'm a huge proponent of kettlebells, man. Get you some kettlebells and learn how to swing those motherfuckers.
Bro, I see you on Instagram. You are fucking,
Swinging
bro.
those
Let
shits.
me explain something to you, bro. Obviously, I don't tell you this every single day,
Yeah.
but that shit is inspirational as fuck.
Thank you, bro.
I'm not going to lie,
Appreciate it.
bro.
Thank you.
I fuck with that shit, bro.
Yeah.
And you can see the progress.
Yeah.
Like, you feel what I'm saying, bro? I fuck
Thank
with that
you.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
But I think, again, I just pay attention to people who work
Yeah.
on themselves. Like,
Yeah.
you feel me? Like, I just
Definitely.
fuck with that.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, there's things I do every day. I journal every day, right? I write my thoughts out, bro. I go to therapy on the 15th and 30th. When I get paid, I'm in therapy.
That's
like,
facts.
I'm like, yo, I'm fucking spinning. My wheels are fucking spinning, man. Like, how the fuck do we fix this, right? How do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? Like, it don't matter what it is, bro. I talk to my therapist like I'm talking to myself. Like, I tell her about where I'm sticking my dick. I tell her about, you know, how I felt about an ex. I'm telling her about I may have ran into an old friend and they winked at me weird. Like, any little thing I talk to her about. And she helps me sequence it and put it together for myself. And then she sends me a follow-up of the things we talked about. And I read the follow-up and I try to start like addressing little things out of those follow-ups that she sends me.
Listen, I have a really great therapist.
Yeah.
But she don't send me no fucking follow-ups. so we gonna talk on Wednesday.
Wait.
I gotta go see my therapist.
I like when I tell you this is how detail-oriented this woman is. She doesn't write anything down. She listens to me talk and she sends me a full follow-up of almost everything we talked about. She'll hit on the major points, of course, but bro, I've heard her in therapy sessions bring up shit from months ago. I'm like, sis, no
Bro, like,
woman listens to me this much. Holy shit.
I don't even remember saying that. Like, what?
I'm like, I didn't know I told you that. Damn.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, so she's amazing. Alicia Jackson.
Shout out Alicia Jackson, man.
Yeah, and if anybody would like her info, I know we'll have the socials up. I will give out her info because that lady saved my life, bro.
Shout out Alicia Jackson, man. That's
a good one.
guys right there, man.
Good Joan.
Good. So while we're on the topic of therapy, how important is going to therapy, particularly for people of our demographic, Black people?
Yeah.
And then, do you believe it's almost like crippled us by not going?
So I think this is why Black people die so young of heart attacks and shit. I think we're so fucking bottled up as people. We don't know how to cope or how to deal with our emotions. Of course, I feel like a lot of us have parents that are mad old school too, right? So who the fuck, like, talk to somebody? Motherfucker, I got a bottle of yak.
Shake that shit off.
And a family on the other side of town. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got some ways I'm going to deal with this shit. So, yeah, man, I think Black people don't go to therapy enough. I think we don't even realize what resources are at our disposal because of how popular therapy is now. Like my therapist, she takes a more holistic approach. I've done the cognitive behavioral therapy. I've sat on a couch. I've had diagnoses or diagnosis, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm not that smart of a Negro, but
you are.
Don't even joke like that.
Yes, you are.
But yeah, I've had the diagnosis, anxiety, depression, you know, whatever they fucking want to smack you on your ass with. You know what I'm saying? They give us all a label. I've done the SSRIs too, the antidepressants. I hate them shits, bro. Them shits are terrible. But I needed to take them in order to understand how they work and how they make your brain function. Because, okay, well, yeah, this didn't work for me, but yo, this might work for Steve or this might work for Ivan, right? And this might help you be able to live the best life you possibly can. So, yeah, just getting the information out there and letting people know what they have at their disposal. Because I pay more for therapy now. I pay $75. She doesn't take insurance, $75. And I pay more now than I paid in the past. However, it's just like I'd rather pay this because the investment that it's going to give me in the long run, even blindly. Like, bro, I went last week. I ain't have shit to talk about. I ended up talking about money, bro. I ended up talking about my issues with money. I got really bad money issues, bro. I spend. I love spending money, bro. Like, and when I get fuck you money, oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad, bro.
At least you're realistic.
It's going to be bad. Like, it's going to be bad.
At least you're realistic about it. Like, fuck it. You haven't spent. You look in the fucking mirror, G.
Yes,
again,
I
there you go.
looked-
Again. You look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Money.
Yeah,
Spend
bro.
it. It's mine. I spend it.